you're on GPS, it calls me Beecham. It's only boat camp.
Oh my.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So I'm here today just to inform you guys about the People's Party of Canada.
Yes.
I'm sure you've all seen the media. You see what's going on right now. We have 15 days until an election.
Wow.
And it's about time we have some change.
Yes.
So I am not a professional politician. I just want to make that perfectly clear. I am an oil field executive. I work in occupational health and safety, and I've been doing that for the last 20 years. And I actually originally wasn't planning on running this year.
Wow.
So I joined the People's Party of Canada in 2017, back when Maxime Bernier started the party. And I ran in the 43rd general election out in Sturgeon River Parkland. And I got about, 3.8% of the vote, something around there, which wasn't bad considering we had a 2-month campaign. And I really wasn't feeling it this year. And then I saw what was going on in the media with all of our other parties. And I kind of prayed over it.
Yes.
And God spoke to me and said, hey, you have to speak up.
Amen.
You have to be the voice of the people because no one else is going to. Then it got even worse here 2 days ago. So there was a point in time where you had 4 political parties. The Green Party, NDP, Liberal, Conservative, everyone knows it. I supported the Conservative Party for, 20 years or so. My wife ran on their campaign teams regularly.
Wow.
She even helped the Conservatives here in the province provincially with the MLA. So we've been in the political side for quite a while. And we've determined that the Conservative Party of Canada is very, very corrupt.
Yeah.
Man, it is.
Yeah. And then 2 days ago, if you didn't hear the news, Aaron O'Toole, their leader, came out on Global News stating as a Conservative
Wow.
that he is going to support the mandated vaccination and the vaccination passport across Canada. At the exact same time yesterday, you guys saw what Jason Kenney did on provincial levels for the Conservative Party.
It's crazy.
They are developing a QR code so that you guys can identify yourself as vaccinated easily. I'm like, perfect. I was kind of curious, whatever happened to the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms?
That's right.
Like,
That's right.
I don't have to disclose my personal information to anybody.
That's right.
You don't have the right to ask me if I've been my flu shot, vaccine, if I have cancer. It's none of your business. It's my own.
That's right.
Then I look at being in health and safety. There's labor laws. So now I'm protected based on discrimination. And there's a few other different codes we can go and play with. And yeah, I just looked at that and went, this is wrong. So now we're looking 15 days away. You have the option right now. It's either Communist Canada
Right.
or Free Canada. Free Canada. So kind of your choice. It's unfortunate we've had to get down to that, either one or the other. I would much rather be here talking, trying to sell the idea of what our party's about. And I will get to some of that. So who here actually is familiar with the platform of the People's Party of Canada? If you're following me on social media, just a raise of hands, just so I have an idea. Okay, 5, 6, perfect, so about half. We'll go with, I'll talk about some key points. There was a lot of turmoil in the last election. I'm sure you guys heard about that. It was Operation Cactus brought on by Andrew Scheer and the Conservative Party. So last election, we were all dubbed racist. It's not a good way to go. I had the Antifa group send me death threats. I was called a fascist. I had my signs vandalized. And it got really, really ugly. And that was because of you saw those billboards across Canada that says, we're against mass immigration. Now, the People's Party of Canada did not put those billboards up. And yes, we are not for mass immigration. Right now, if you don't know, the Liberal Party of Canada has increased immigration into Canada to 350,000 new migrants a year, every year. And 76% of them, I believe, are not for a skilled shortage in Canada. They are family members of other people here, refugee status, some other different terms that I'm really not overly familiar with. But yeah, so really 25% are here for a skill shortage that we actually have. So our party's stance on that is we want to reduce immigration to right around that 150,000 back to where it used to be. But we want 100% of them to be for what Canada needs. So skill shortages. Now, if we only bring it down to 150,000, we can actually have them come to Canada and have a chance of becoming Canadian. You bring in 400,000 people, 350,000 people, it's a lot harder. It's a big burden on the system.
Yeah.
So we just want to manage that. But somehow that made me a racist, which, okay, that's the conservatives. Now the other things for this province, which I love, so we're in Alberta. Last I checked, we're Alberta strong. We love Alberta oil. I love Alberta oil. A couple years ago, they brought out that wonderful carbon tax because they say the world is ending and global warming is going to defeat us, which I find that comical because, like Pastor Ria was saying about fires and water and the nutrients in the ground after a fire, it is true. There is absolutely nothing as a civilization we can do to this world that God can't fix
That's
and that
right.
Mother Nature can't just deal with immediately.
That's right.
They will have floods, they will have tsunamis, they'll have forest fires, lightning storms, tornadoes, you name it. The world will fix itself. And then again, a tax really doesn't help the environment. The tax hurts the people. And in this case, the carbon tax, if you looked at the pumps lately, paying what, $1.30 a liter for fuel? I'm not sure how that helped us.
No.
Albertans right now are hurting, and we have been for a while. I can go back to, I guess it would have been around 2015. So I used to be an oil field consultant. I worked in health and safety, but I had a small business. We provided safety management services for pipelines, transmission lines, oil sands. And in 2015, we were expanding. We had opened up a drug testing lab and a training center. And then all of a sudden, we lost 10 years worth of work in 3 days. That was the carbon tax. All of a sudden, all the projects were being put on the shelf because it wasn't profitable anymore for these companies to continue going. And it just kind of crippled us. So my wife and I, we actually ended up losing our business. We lost our house. We ended up relocating ourselves back to New Brunswick for a 3-month period. And it was just one thing after another after another. So we left Alberta, went back to New Brunswick. There was a flood. We lost our house yet again.
Oh.
So first we lost it to an economic challenge, then we lost it to Mother Nature, and then we came back to Alberta. We said, you know what, we got this, we'll rebuild. Alberta is the land where we can do it. And we have. And that's always been the thing for Alberta. Alberta is a very, very strong province with very, very strong people. And we have to get back to that. We have to stop this nonsense.
Yeah.
I look at the other big one, equalization across this country. So Alberta right now is paying out, I think the last report I saw, Alberta paid out $22 billion in equalization payments to Quebec.
Boo.
Boo. Yeah, we paid out $22 billion. For what? And during this time right now, who here is rich? Anybody? Anyone live in a massive estate home and, 5 cars? And I see a couple fingers. There might be some people that are well off, absolutely. But no, $22 billion when we're having an economic problem, when we're out of work. We have hundreds of thousands of workers out of work. I look at the numbers, and so Quebec had a $21.5 billion surplus this year. Go figure. Alberta had a $22 billion deficit. Where's the fairness there? So that's the other part of the People's Party's platform. We want to get rid of that equalization process altogether.
Yeah.
We can change the formula to help over a period of time for some of the less fortunate provinces, but you can't tell me Quebec deserves $22 billion a year. That's just ludicrous. What else can we talk about? So we're going to go with no carbon tax, reduced immigration. Oh, I guess here's a good one. I'm talking right now. I have this freedom. I can say whatever I want. I can say Aaron O'Toole is a tool. It's my option. I don't believe in Aaron O'Toole. Perfect. I can say our honorable Mr. Trudeau is an idiot that loves paper water bottles. I have that option. I have the freedom of speech to do it. Yeah, we shouldn't be talking to people like that. We shouldn't pass judgment. We shouldn't be rude. It's not about attacking other candidates and attacking other parties. That's not very Canadian of us. But at the same time, we're supposed to have that right. And right now, if you saw recently, they were trying to pass laws where even on social media, if you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook,
Yeah.
you're going to lose your ability to speak out your own voice.
That's right.
So where is that in our own freedoms? We keep circling back to this freedom. So I don't know, freedom of speech, freedom of religion. If I want to say I'm Christian, which is all the way down my arm, I can say that I'm Christian. And I am very happy to praise God on every Sunday.
Amen.
Actually, every day of the week in my household.
Yes.
That's important to me. I'm not going to sit here and beat you with the Bible and tell you you have to worship, you have to believe. But I would like it. That'd be
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
I will say we have to fix what's going on here. We are going to very quickly be a communist country. And it's tragic. It really is. I'm terrified every day right now. Like, I'm praying
Yes.
pretty much non-stop for a better Canada, for this to change, and for us to get back on our feet. And I'm really hoping that in 15 days' time, we show that wonderful blue Conservative Party of Canada that we're not going to take their crap anymore. Like, traditional parties do not work. They're not working for us. They don't care about the people anymore.
Right.
They care about the almighty dollar and how big their bank accounts can get. So it'd be really nice to have a party in power that cares about the people. It's a party from the people, for the people, and that is the People's Party of Canada. Now, I guess we have some time. I can sit in here all day. We can have a conversation. Anyone have any questions that they really want to know about the People's Party? Because this would be a perfect opportunity to ask.
So I showed up late, my apologies. Did you already speak into some of your thoughts on mandatory vaccination and how
Yeah.
you stand there and on
I would
masking
say,
and all of that? If you did that already,
oh no, I will
everybody else,
happily
apologize.
I'll repeat myself on that one because that is honestly the most important one here. They've been very, very clear. This mandatory vaccination and the vaccination passport will happen if we elect Conservative, Liberal, Green, or NDP. The People's Party will absolutely not mandate a vaccination.
Yep. All
It
right.
just won't happen. It's funny though, because they're using fear on that one.
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're using. It's a vaccine. It's no different than your flu shot you get annually, if you do. I don't. I will say I haven't had a flu shot my entire life. I get sick maybe once every 5 or 6 years for a day or two.
You do.
It's very whiny, I can attest.
I do whine to my wife. I will, yeah. I'm no different. I'm just like everyone else here. We all whine when we're sick. We have some soup, lay on the couch for a couple days, and then we get better. But it's funny when you look at the vaccination, when you're looking at the data, there's all these people, oh, the science has proven it. I call bullcrap on that. They have no data, no historical data for sure.
Right. Right.
And everything I was reading is the vaccination is more likely to cause harm to you
Yeah, that's right.
than not getting it.
Yeah.
If my survival rate is 99.9%, why do I need a vaccine?
That's right.
If I'm, 0.6% chance that I'm gonna get hurt because of the vaccination, why would I take it? Like, COVID is not gonna kill you. Yes, it's unfortunate some people have died, but I do find it interesting that they say it's the world's worst pandemic we've seen in this country, but our death rate has been was lower in 2020 than 2019. We've cured the flu. Go figure.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard lots of stories from friends of mine where they've had parents pass away during COVID, and the hospitals have actually asked them if they could report it as COVID, because then the hospitals get additional funding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you look at that, then you hear the CDC, and their numbers have been wrong over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
So what is the truth? Does anyone here know? No. Do I know? No. I'm just gonna go with, you can't force me to do anything.
That's right.
You want to force me to take a vitamin and you say I have to, I'm still going to say no. Even if it's great and I know it's fine, I'm still going to say no as soon as you force me to do it.
That's right.
Like, if you want to get a vaccine, by all means, get your vaccine. You want to get a flu shot, by all means, get your flu shot.
That's right.
Just don't force it down our throats.
That's right.
And at the same time, we all know, if we go back to the Bible, love thy neighbor. I can repeat that all day. Love thy neighbor. It's a real simple concept. Why are we going to go after our neighbors for not getting vaccinated or getting vaccinated? We don't want that discrimination. Like, we're all one big happy Canadian family. We're supposed to be looking after one another, helping each other out. You know, you shouldn't be worried that, what was that statement I heard from Trudeau? It was the best ever. It was, we're not going to allow you to get on planes and trains with
Wow. That's crazy.
with vaccinated people and put them at risk. That makes no sense to me in my brain. I have no way of wrapping that around. Like, if the vaccine makes you immune, apparently, why are you worried about the unvaccinated people? They're not going to make you sick. But apparently, if you take the vaccine and you're around me as an unvaccinated person, you're going to get COVID. So again, why? So that's my points on that one. Anyone else have anything they want to know? I see some wonderful PPC purple shirts. Love seeing that.
Yeah, we went up like 500,000 people. Even though our borders were closed and we were locked down half this time, we went up 500,000 people.
Wow.
Okay, how does that happen during a pandemic?
Well, we do know we do have that wonderful unmanned border across this country. It's pretty easy to come to Canada last I checked. You know, that was one of our big platform pieces on the immigration, is just making it so that anybody that crosses over illegally, regardless where they cross, if it's through the trees over that, was it Roxanne Road, they will be turned away and sent back from where they came. The other thing, there was a lot, refugees. We had the Syrian refugees, now we have Afghanistan. So they're all coming. So maybe that's why the population growth has been there. I can't say how those numbers have gone up during a lockdown to this level. But yeah. I guess we didn't really talk about, whoa, that got loud. I guess we really didn't talk about lockdowns either. The People's Party are 100% against lockdowns. They do not work.
Right.
Right.
It's very, very simple concept. They don't work. We actually learned that, I don't know, what we flattening the curve now for what, 20 months? 24 months? Flattened it for 14 days became 24 months. We've tried lockdowns, we've tried masks. Now we're forcing vaccines and they're claiming 80% of the country's vaccinated. And yet we have some of the highest, exactly. We have some of the highest levels of COVID cases that there is. Interesting, that nothing adds up. It's a lot of lies, but if you ask a politician, I'm talking professional politician, they will not give you an answer.
Right.
They will keep repeating some script that they wrote over and over and over, and they'll never be honest. Like, you guys can ask absolutely anything you want right now, and I'll tell you straight. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna come up with a story. If I don't know the answer, I'll tell you, let me go read some stuff and I'll get back to you. But it's a pretty simple concept. The platform for the People's Party is online. We stand for freedom, personal responsibility, fairness, and respect. That is what every party should be looking for. That's how everything should be built. That is the Canadian way.
Yes.
And we've lost touch with that. You know, why that is, I have no idea at this point, but that's where we're at. And honestly, 15 days from now, that is our choice. It is Communist Canada or freedom. Go purple, it's freedom. Go blue, it's Communist Canada. Your choice. That's all I got. Absolutely. The
I mean, I knew who PPC was.
yeah.
But I didn't know they were in Alberta. I thought they were a Quebec company, outfit because of Burning It, right?
Yeah, no, the people's,
And secondly, I have another thing. You
Okay.
said about immigration,
Yep.
I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but the majority of the people who are fleeing Afghanistan seem to be men. Are they leaving their children and wives behind?
Wow.
Like, who would do that?
yeah.
Like, to me, that's really upsetting. I see nothing but men wanting to get out. And what about their kids? Anyway, mostly about PPC. Who are you? And how come I didn't know about you? Because I follow the political, news media, but I didn't know who you were.
The People's Party have been around now. This is our second election, believe it or not. Yeah. We have 300, and I believe it's 330 candidates across Canada. We actually have enough candidates in this country to take a majority government.
Yes.
We have only one vacant seat in Alberta. And we only learned this recently. Originally, we were told we had 100% coverage in this province. Right now, we have one, that is Calgary Centre. But beyond Calgary Centre, we have a candidate in absolutely every riding in this province. And why no one knows about us is because, well, CBC is, funded by the Liberal government. They keep it super quiet.
Yep.
And
Right.
$1 billion a year to the CBC will do that. And as soon as the government controls media, well, that's where we go back to that Communist Canada and that whole free press, free speech, free religion. We can go on that all day. They've been silencing us as much as they humanly can. I can say even Facebook has been really bad.
Yeah.
So about 2 weeks ago when the writ was dropped, I posted a photo on Facebook. It was just myself and Maxime Bernier, because he's here a lot if you don't know.
Yeah.
So he was in Leduc with me, and we
Wow.
sat down and we took a photo together. I posted it on Facebook, and I didn't even put a word, a caption, nothing. I didn't say Max or Tyler or People's Party of Canada, just posted the photo so people could see it. I got back that it violated the Facebook community standards.
No.
Yep. Yeah, I violated Facebook community standards by standing in a suit beside Maxime Bernier
Wow.
in Leduc. I'm like, interesting. That is how bad it's gotten.
Yeah.
That's Facebook. Twitter's been pretty decent. They have a lot less, but yeah, no, they're really silencing us everywhere they can.
Yeah.
There's people really trying to keep the message of the People's Party quiet. But again, when you have four parties that have pretty much a coalition together, all towards taking away your rights, doesn't surprise me. So, yeah, I guess that was a great question.
I got a question.
Sure.
What is your strategy with COVID-19? Oh, thanks, man. Good to see it. I like the purple shirt. What is your strategy with COVID-19 and because I hear what you're not doing, like you're not mandating masks, you're not mandating all that kind of stuff. So, you know, what is the strategy to handle, you know, a virus like this? And then if you could also stem on that, I'm going to steal two questions if that's all right. What's your strategy to pay back the insane amount of money we now owe? And how are we going to spark the economy? Because I see the political parties asking and saying that they're going to re-engage the economy. And
Yeah.
so government has never really been good at that. So what's your policy of giving entrepreneurs the freedom to do that?
Wow.
And what does that look like? So
I'd say yeah, I'd say the first part of that. What we're doing about COVID, we are going to end all lockdowns, for one, reopen the economy, and let people get out, interact, let people back to work. That normally sparks an economy. You got more people out doing stuff, socializing, out for dinner, shopping, everything else will reignite the economy if they're allowed to. That's probably a big one. Then there's the other side of things. Do you know how much money we spend every year on foreign aid?
Too much.
At one point in time in the reign of Trudeau, we spent $6 billion on a pipeline in China. That's not ours. Oh yeah. We spent I think it was $1 billion or $500 million to open abortion centers in Africa. We built roads in some other country. Yeah, no, it's been really crazy. Like, if you add up the numbers, not to mention the $1 billion to CBC, the money, the waste is insane. So we want to focus on Canada first and stop the bleed. So stop sending money overseas, stop helping out China with their own projects that have no benefit to us. So I guess that would be probably the biggest way to get us started. Then we'll work from there. One huge advantage that the People's Party of Canada has versus the Conservatives, Liberals, NDP, or Green is we have the ability to write private members' bills. So if you came to me and you had a great idea that would help our community and our community agrees with it, we can draft up a bill, have a round table, and submit it. And we'll have a discussion on it. There is not a single subject or idea that is too taboo that we won't do that for. Now, if you were with the other parties, if right now you went and asked the Honorable Mike Lake his views on vaccinations or abortion or any of that, he can't talk about it. If his views are different than the party's, he will not talk about it. Because if he does, he's thrown out of the party. Yeah. You seen that? Look at, what was that recently? Prince Edward Island, I think it was? Oh, Max Bernier, yes. But I think it was Prince Edward Island. There was a Nova Scotia? Well, there was a representative that was ousted from the party, came back to run as an independent and won. Kind of funny how that works. So yeah, no, all the other parties, their people have to tote the party line. I do not have to tote the party line. I can talk about whatever I want, whenever I want. That's my rights. It's great. I love it. Anyone else have anything? There's a mic running around there somewhere.
I'll go again if nobody
Sure.
else want to jump in there. My question is, the future of the country also is going to be in a large, obviously, way affected by our public school system.
Yeah.
What is going on in our public school system today with an agenda that's happening behind it? My family, my children, raising children, I just cannot see themselves putting their children into a structure that seems to basically undermine the family. And what does the PPC, mandate take on public education and taking back some of what's going on there and not going on there?
Well, public education actually is provincial. So that falls under our wonderful Jason Kenney in this province. And I say wonderful very cautiously. But no, that's where we come in with the private members' bills. So some of the things that are happening in the schools, like allowing children to get vaccinated without the permission of parents, that one's always an interesting one. Those are all part of our platform to get rid of that. So get back to just traditional values. But yeah, we would have to honestly sit down, have a discussion, write up a private member's bill, and go to the province and say, hey, enough's enough. Like the federal government is supposed to have some form of oversight for the provinces. Like if you have a problem as a community, you're supposed to bring that to your MP, and your MP is supposed to fix it, or at least try, fight for it. They're supposed to be your voice, and I'm not hearing a voice anywhere I go. Like, I've had lots of problems. They don't do anything for us. I don't understand it. Maybe they've lost touch with what it's like to be one of us, or it's just their background. I really don't know. I try to avoid the whole, slamming another person, but I really don't understand what has happened in this riding for the last, 16 years. I haven't heard anything out of our federal government for Edmonton-Wetaskiwin at all. So what's been going on, I do not know. I would love to say I had that answer, but yeah. All we can do is present a private member's bill and try to get it fixed.
And in extension to that, I had a conversation. I'm in the entrepreneurial community,
Okay.
and I had a conversation with a business owner. He's got a few car dealerships and things like that. And his son is 15 years old, and he said that he constantly has to have conversations with his son at the dinner table because his son comes home thinking that there's a whole bunch of rich pricks out there that own their own business, and there's really it's almost like the entrepreneurs are the enemies of Canada. And he's coming home from his public school system being basically taught that if you're a business owner, you're basically the devil in a lot of ways, and you're stealing from people, and you're selfish and all these kind of things. And this is in the public school systems, and he has to help him understand that those are the people that give you the jobs in the first place, and they're not greedy. There are some greedy people. There's also some greedy poor people too, though. But I guess I'm just curious. Like that's just tagging on to that. Does a PPC have any because I know you said you're not sure what's going on, but do you have any things in the pipeline where you're going, hey, the schools need to learn more about not a socialist government, but something more about how the government is actually founded, what it's for, and what the future free enterprise could look like in our country, so that we all can win together?
Back on the school side of things, I can't really say much on provincial politics. Like really, I'd love to say I could. I would say I would love to see a lot more, because yes, entrepreneurs are what creates jobs. Like it's true. I was an entrepreneur. I had my company. I hired people. Those people were happy. They went to work. Now, I know most of the other parties have a platform piece on job creation right now. I think it's the Conservatives' last one was they're going to pay something like 60% of their employees' salaries or something to get them back to work. And you're an entrepreneur. Are you going to hire somebody to work for you if you have no work to put them doing? Even if we pay 60% of their salary, you're going to pay 40% to have someone stand in your office and do nothing. Most people are not. I was a business owner. I'm not hiring back my staff, paying them 40% of their salaries to stand there like pylons. There's no value to me. So I want to find ways to create work. Our thoughts on getting rid of carbon taxes and reducing all this extra funding is job creation in the end. Get rid of the carbon tax, let the oil field do what the oil field does best. Build stuff. Let's build a pipeline. We're still the only party that's willing to use the Constitution in Canada to build a pipeline to Irving Oil in St. John, New Brunswick. Not sure if you guys are aware about Irving Oil's massive refinery in St. John. It is the largest in the country. He currently brings in oil from Saudi Arabia. Yeah. Gasoline at the pumps in New Brunswick is cheaper than Alberta. Yeah, I've lived in both provinces. When we were paying $1.05 out here, they were paying 96 cents a liter out there. Which is funny because we have the third largest oil reserve on the planet. So it's interesting when we think about politicians won't use our Constitution to force the build of a pipeline, creating jobs, encouraging entrepreneurs to start new companies. I know lots of guys in welding and pipe fitting and everything else. They'd happily fire up a new company if there was work for them. They like being independent. They have that freedom side of things because we're Albertans or Canadians, we like freedom. But yeah, there is this one part of our Constitution, it's 9210, no different than the railroads. At any given time, the federal government can step in and say the project is to the mutual benefit of Canada, and there's no provincial government can stop its construction. The problem we have is our political system is so broken that none of these other parties will do that, because then they might lose votes in Quebec and Ontario. So, and we all know that Ontario and Quebec normally dictate who the government is. Alberta and the West Coast, well, we dictate the opposition. Right now our opposition is the Conservatives, they're aligned with the Liberals. We have no opposition. So there's our problem yet again. So even if all of West Coast went People's Party, at least you have official opposition that's fighting these idiots. So either way, we have enough people to do it. We just need the people to get out and vote this time.
Yeah.
If you don't know for this riding, does anyone here have heard the scale of Edmonton-Wetaskiwin? Because if you haven't, I'll let you know. It starts at the North Saskatchewan River at Ellerslie Road in Edmonton. It stretches from there to Highway 2. On the other side of Highway 2, it goes further into Edmonton, Anthony Henday, runs all the way out to Highway 21, and then from there it goes to Wetaskiwin. Everything in between. And then from Wetaskiwin, it stops near Drayton Valley. So this riding has the largest population, and it's the largest riding in the country. And normally, when you have a politician, like our Honorable Mike Blake right now, when you have a riding of this scale, you have a lot more say. You have the largest voting population in the country. So if he says something, they should be listening. So again, I go back to what are they saying? Probably not a lot. But yeah, no, this riding, it's wild. Like trying to manage all this. But last election, the Conservative government won this riding by, I think they had 65,000 votes. It's not a lot. We have 140,000 voters. Only 80,000 people voted last time. So really, even if we had the votes of the people that didn't vote, there is enough of them to win this riding. And that's where it has to start. Like, we only need to start winning on a different platform. I would say it's a little bit more concerning. This year I want to see a whole wave of purple across Canada. I want to see the People's Party take majority, personally, and stop this tyrannical government we have. Shut up Trudeau, shut up O'Toole, and just fix what they've done. It's just going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and yeah, that's all I really have. Any other questions that you guys might want to know? Still willing to, I can sit here all day, honestly. I'll give you my personal cell number if a question comes up. I've been answering people nonstop.
Will the PPC party reverse the legalization of marijuana?
Ooh, I don't think so. I'm not sure. Well, that has never come up, actually. I will honestly look into that. If you give me your number, I will find out. Because that would be interesting.
How do you feel about that?
Honestly, I'm not a fan of drugs personally. I do like some of the medicinal side of it. Like CBD works really great for nerve pain. I'm a bit of a control freak of my own body. I barely drink. I don't like losing track of my own mind. So, but yeah, I really do like the medical use because I really feel that our doctors these days are really pushing medication. I've had a lot of bad experiences personally with Alberta Health, mainly doctors that are pill pushers. Like they nearly killed my mother, 6 times. They prescribed her Demerol nonstop for 3 years until her liver failed. So, I have a doctor right now. I went in to see him. I had to fire him recently. I had some nerve pain and I wanted to get an MRI because I figured maybe I pinched a nerve. No, can't do that. Your bone looks fine. Okay, that's not the nerve, it's bone. Nope, I won't order an MRI for you. Okay, what will you do? Take some gabapentin. That's a narcotic. Okay, no, I'm not taking your narcotic, thanks. And that's what they get to. I went and saw him again. I saw my chiropractor, had more x-rays done, went back to my family doctor. Nope, won't do that either. Here's some gabapentin in a cream form. if you don't like that, here's gabapentin in a pill form. Well, how much are they paying you? So yeah, I use CBD myself periodically for my nerve pain, and it works really, really well. A lot of natural products do. So
Yeah.
I'm not for marijuana. I'm not opposed to marijuana. You guys want to smoke it? Fill your boots. This is a free country. It's not going to harm you. Might make you stoned. You might eat too many potato chips. Might drive really slow. I don't know. Hmm? Yeah, driving is illegal under any influence. That's true. Just saying, the ones I know that I've seen smoke it and drive are driving like 20 in a 100 zone, paranoid that the police are there. Exactly. Anyone else have anything?
Did you just say that gabapentin is a narcotic?
I know what it does to me, so I would say yes.
Oh, because I'm on it.
No, actually, when I take gabapentin, I tried it for. Mainly, I got to stop walking. I tried it for a little while, and I was on a really low dose. And I take it before bed. When I wake up, if I don't have like 8 hours of sleep, which I never do, because oil and gas, we never sleep that much. It takes me a good 2, 3, 4 hours before I can function. I have this brain fog that's a nightmare. So yeah, no, gabapentin is not your friend in my views.